all for joining us. For one, thank you all for filling out the application, for taking time to join us today for this orientation. We're going to do some really quick, just general introductions of who we are. And you all are going through real quick and telling kind of your name, your district. And I will share a little something later on that kind of helps you to know who all is in this grant with you. And that's coming a little later. So we won't make you go through and do the name and turn on your camera and all of that, because you're going to get an opportunity to know each other really well. And you'll find out how we're going to do all that through the grant a little later on. But my name is Wendy King, and you will probably, you've already learned, you're going to get lots of emails from me. So I hope that you're okay with that. But we're going to do our best to keep you informed of everything that's going on with this grant. And some of you, I know, have worked with me on grants before. This is not a grant like anything else that you've been part of. Sometimes in districts, and I said this in one of the other orientations before, sometimes there's a little bit of a negative connotation that's associated with grants just because of the tremendous workload that's put on teachers and district admin. Sometimes you sign up for a grant, because district people, district level admin, they apply for a grant, and then some of the work gets pushed down to you. This is a grant that we invite you to be part of, and all of the resources, all of the training comes back to you as a teacher level. You applied for it, but the great news is we pay you to be part of it. So you see all of the benefits from that. And we're so excited to bring that to you. And we'll kind of explain more about that. But my name is Wendy King. I'm the grant lead on this grant. And with me, I have my boss, Dr. Jim Evans. Dr. Evans, you can unmute there and say hello real quick.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you all. And I have an extensive background that I can tell you about some other time when we have more time. I would kick it back to Wendy, but it's so good to be part of this and love this work. And just can't tell you enough how excited I am just to be working with you. So anyway, we'll talk more about that. You'll hear more. So Wendy, go ahead. And I know you're going to introduce.
And then I also have the fabulous, and not to discount anything that Dr. Evans is doing, because he's great too, but I have the fabulous Miss Gabby Flowers with me today. And you will hear us say this time and time again. Gabby truly is the right hand in all of our grant operations. She does so much behind the scenes. We cannot do anything without her. So you will probably be getting lots of emails from Gabby. You'll see throughout this presentation, I say, email me, but email Gabby. Gabby is truly, she is in it 100% with me in all of the grant work that we do. So I'm so glad that Gabby is on this call with us today too, so that you can put a face with Gabby. And, when I refer to her throughout this call in this orientation today. So there's Miss Gabby.
Thank you.
Okay, so real quick, what is HERO? What exactly have you signed up for? Well, here's what it is. HERO, the name actually has a meaning. It is History, Education, and Research Opportunities. So that is what we're going to be doing together in a community, in a cohort together. We're going to be looking at how we can take history and make it truly come alive for your students. We're going to develop a broader, deeper understanding of American history, of civics, of government, and geography. But we're not going to do that just in the boring way. Dr. Evans and I laugh. When he first came on board with KDC, this is a funny story I love to tell on him. I said, we make history really exciting, not in the boring lecture way of the way I learned history in school. And I said, sometimes history people are known for that. And he said, Wendy, I have a degree in history. And I thought, open mouth, insert foot. So I started off in a really good way with my boss. Great first impression. I'm sure he was not one of those history people though, like that. So we're going to look at ways to bring engaging activities through technology, through bringing literacy, which is why we were really selective and really excited to bring on our library and media specialist. We know that the library is the hub, or should be the hub, of all of our schools. So they're going to help us with housing wonderful selections of books, and they're going to be your resource. And we're going to invite them on a lot of our trainings and specialized trainings too, for really amping up our engagement for social studies. And so you can see we have 17 school districts that have taken part in being a history hero with us. And so there are 17 school districts that are represented. And I can ramble on and tell you all the great things that we know are wonderful about KDC's grants, but we thought we're just going to take a few minutes and let you hear it from some of our current existing grant members right now. So I'm going to play this video for you real quick.
Is the sound not working, Wendy? I got it. Go down to the far right and click on the three dots for more, and then do share sound. And no, hang on.
You're the co-host. Take over there. Why is the sound not working?
Hang on.
Apologies.
I got it. It's okay.
Sorry, guys.
Go ahead and
I'll
make me
test it.
host real quick, and then let me switch it.
Got it. I tested all of this before we started.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to, while he's doing that, I'm going to give you all a copy of this presentation so you can follow along while he is doing that.
Yeah, do
Thank
that.
you, Dr.
I'm gonna pull it. I need to pull that up just real quick.
So you can follow along with our presentation as well. You've got a copy of that in the chat. Thank you, Katie, for the no worries. Phew.
Y'all bear with us just for a second, and
We've done this like 5 times before and it's worked every other time. I got nothing.
it's okay.
I will tell you while we're waiting,
Go
I did
ahead.
one orientation from the middle of the ocean, which was fun. That was last week. So we've had lots of fun orientation meetings.
We're there. Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
First thing I say when people ask me about the Renaissance Grant, or when I tell them about it, is that I can't believe that it's true, that there are professional development opportunities that are specialized for those of us who are in the arts. And again, I just can't believe that we have this access.
The sessions that I have attended have broadened my understanding and helped me to teach my kids how to make deeper connections in the areas I'm teaching. And of course, who doesn't like a little bit of money? But I will tell you right now, the respect and value that has been shown to the arts educators involved in this grant far outweighs any compensation that we could ever get.
What I love most about the PDs and the different trainings that we have, it's not something that we have to wait and implement the next year. It is always something that we can go back into our classrooms the very next day and put into place. And anything that can be done instantly is going to be beneficial because it's fresh on your mind, it's fresh on your heart, and you're able to give that information to your students with so much more heart and meaning.
Not only do we get to learn from some of the best of the business and around the world, we get to learn from each other.
This group, this grant has given me a confidence in myself and in what I do. And it's just kind of driven home why I do what I do. I chose it for a reason because I love it, and I wanted to make sure that the students got an experience that I never truly got growing up. So.
Every week, I feel like we get new ideas and access to new resources that we're able to put into practice immediately. Secondly, the community is amazing. Something I didn't expect from the grant at all is to feel so connected with the other teachers and administrators in the grant. It's connected with people I didn't really know very well, even in my district, but then also across counties who are teaching similar things as me. We can share ideas, support, and encourage each other. It's so super helpful. This grant has come alongside us and just encouraged us and made us feel worthy and loved and appreciated and important when we don't always see that and feel that every day. So
it's not professional development because you have to do it. It's professional development because you get to do it and you learn things that you can practically use. There wasn't some catch, and I kept saying there's got to be a catch. There has to be a catch. There is no catch. You do the thing and you get paid for the thing. And not only are you getting paid, you're getting experiences that I haven't been able to find anywhere else. So as Wendy would say, y'all gonna get paid, y'all gonna get paid. And every time she says, I'm like, she means it.
The leaders of this grant treat us like their own.
I've taught for 33 years, and by far this is the most wonderful thing that has happened in my career.
All right, Wendy, I'm gonna give you you turn it back over to you. Make some comments about that, or I'm going to. So anyway.
Well, I wanted to say we did not pay them to make that video. We did not say, hey, you need to say these great things about our grants. Those, and Dr. Evans and Gabby can tell you that when those started coming in, one, I was a little bit overwhelmed by each one of those because of just the sincerity in what each one of those teacher leaders kept saying, because that's really what we try to do. With every one of our grants, we have intentional planning. We try to look at it from the framework of, and from the standpoint of, if I were still in the classroom, we all have classroom experience. And so we try to look at it in, we don't want to make it one more thing, just one more thing to add to the list. We try to look at really beneficial speakers and things that you can easily implement. When Shayla said that about, we want every speaker that we line up, we say, make it something that they can use in their classroom tomorrow. So when they started saying these things, it really resonated with our mission, our goal of this grant. And then of course, Heather saying, you're going to get paid. That's the great thing. So many times it seems like as teachers, I remember staying late, doing things that you thought went unnoticed. We really want to notice, and we really want to reward you for the work that you're doing within these grants. So if those teacher testimonies did not say, hey, I'm in, I really don't know that anything else I'm going to say in the next little bit's going to.
So let me speak to that just briefly. You had teacher leaders there from KY Charge, which is another social studies grant that Wendy leads, and we're in year 5. We kicked off year 5 there October 1. And you also had teacher leaders from Renaissance, our K-12 arts and education grant that we received funding for last year, September 30. So we just kicked off year 2. So you had folks that have been involved in grant work for 4 years, and you had folks that have been involved in grant work for since November, December. I will tell you for Charge, and you'll learn more about this as we go, we accumulated almost 13 hours of professional learning for those 120 participants in Charge, and we're between 8,000 and 9,000 hours of professional learning in Renaissance, the arts grant. Programming didn't kick off for Renaissance until February 1. So Charge, we got notified of funding for years 4 and 5, September 30. So we hit the ground running, and that's all accredited to Wendy and her leadership. So everything that you heard from those teacher leaders and building leaders and school leaders there on the even the written testimonials and the video testimonials, that all speaks to what she does as a leader in our grants work here. So hats off to her, because I promise you, you're going to be wowed and you're going to be in awe of the programming that she's going to build. And she already has been building it since we got notification of this grant funding. So it's exciting. And again, we're so appreciative of y'all being here, and I'll hush now, but hats off to Wendy always, because when the grant package was put together for Renaissance last year, I wrote her in as the lead. And when we put the package together for Hero, I wrote her in as the lead. So again, because of what she does, the care that she puts into the work, the passion she has for the work, and again, ultimately wanting to impact what happens in your classroom. And again, you get paid for it, but it's a huge deal. So Wendy, I'll hush, but go ahead and jump back on there and let's roll.
So this slide, you will see what are the benefits. The benefits you've heard from other teachers that are in our other grants. It's professional learning, but it's not just any professional learning. It's free professional learning. I know when I was in the classroom, I was constantly looking for things that my district would have paid for me, or things that I would pay for myself as a teacher or as a leader. These are things that we're bringing to you, top in the nation. You'll see in just a minute, I'll show you our calendar. We're bringing you SHEG. We're bringing you the National Archives, Library of Congress. We're bringing you top in the nation in social studies, and also in library and media specialists. We're bringing you the best of the best. We're also letting you not only sometimes you'll see these great webinars that everybody in the nation gets to participate in. These are direct interaction with just your leaders. So in a cohort of just our group, where those individuals speak to you, they interact with you, they'll say, hey, here's my email, follow up with me if you have any questions. So we're making them specifically available to you as a teacher cohort group. We're building a community of academic learners, and I'll show you that in just a moment. You'll have a chance to where you're able to have a thought partner, an academic conversations outside of our grant. So if you need someone, you're like, hey, I'm really struggling with this lesson. Do you have some ideas? You're able to share emails, and you're able to talk and throw and bounce ideas back with one another, which is phenomenal. And you've heard other people in our other grants talk about that, just having that network outside of our grant and our cohort hours. And probably one benefit that I don't even need to mention, but did we tell you that you get paid for all of this? So we'll go on to the next slide. There are a few grant goals that we have to mention, but the great thing about this grant, and like I said, I participated in lots of other grant opportunities, we take the brunt of all of that data collection, which is where Gabby is so instrumental. And you all, I can't brag on her enough. We take all of that data collection. There are a few times, and you all have already seen that firsthand. We ask you to do a pre-test and a pre-survey. The only other thing that's required in this grant is a post-test and a post-survey. Everything else is completely optional. Cadres, the only other requirement is 40 hours. And you'll see in just a moment when I show you that calendar, it is really easy to get 40 hours of professional learning. In fact, I'll say this way. We do one summer conference. That summer conference is worth 40 hours just for that 1 week. So if you didn't do anything all year long and you waited until summer conference, you could still be active just for coming that 1 week. Now, I'm going to tell you, there's so much that we offer and so much to do. You won't want to wait until summer conference. But that summer conference is a great opportunity to get automatically 40 hours. But we have had in the past, we've had some teachers who, for whatever reason, maybe there was a medical emergency or they were on maternity leave, they were still able to meet their 40 hours just by attending summer conference. So your requirements are the pre-survey, the pre-test, and the post-survey, and the post-test. There will be other things that we incentivize, like other data collection measures, but we take care of all of that. So I may do a random survey. I may say, hey, can you help me out with this? But we always make it worth your while. So it's not going to be, I know there's some trepidation. Some people were like, I'm a little nervous about what I'm getting into. One of the best tools that I'll tell you about in just a moment is Twitter. And you all know, as a mom, I've got 2 children myself. I try to chronicle everything they do with a picture. a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So we tell our teacher leaders, we want to see what you're doing in the classroom. We want to see, how are you taking what you're doing in cadres and then turning that into something great? How are you telling that story? So we do pay you to tweet. That's why you've probably seen some of our other grants. Our Charge Twitter account is super active. It started out as a way that we could just say, hey, we're going to pay you to tweet, but you'll see that it's now became a network. Teachers they're interacting with one another. One will tweet an idea and then they'll email and say, oh my goodness, tell me about that. So it starts out as a little way that we incentivize you, but then you'll see that they're starting to tell the story of awesome things they're doing in their classroom. And as we get to that slide, I will tell you, U.S. Department of Education, they follow our Twitter accounts. You'll see them like our tweets. You'll see them kind of tag things. So they do watch what we're doing, which is part of the reason why we say tweet, 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 right? So I've already I apologize. I've already told you a little bit about our requirements for you. And let me go back into the present mode. So you are required to get your 40 hours, and I don't know why it is giving me an error. I apologize. And it didn't do any of this last time. So you are required to get 40 hours. And guys, I apologize. An error has been reported to Google. Okay. We'll just roll with it. So each hero leader is required to get 40 hours of professional learning, and that is to remain active, and so that you get your payment. But you're also required to get the pre-survey, the post-survey, and the pre and the post. And then for your students, here's the other little piece of data that you've not been let in on yet. So we ask, and this is, I know that several of you may have just a classroom. This question was brought up in one of our other grant orientation meetings. What if I only have 18 kids in my class? Or what if I have 125 students that I'm responsible? We ask that you get around 20 to 25 students. That just helps us for reporting. I am not the number guru, but our grant evaluator says that kind of helps us with reporting. So if you have 18 kids, in your class, that's close enough to that 20. We say 25. If you have a class of 25, go ahead and just test everyone. And it's a really simple, it's in a Google, just like your testing was. It's really simple. You can drop it into your Google Classroom if you have students in Google Class. If you're a K through 1 teacher, it's broken down like K through 1. You can choose if you are for example, if you're a librarian, you can pull in any one of your classrooms, K through 5, and test any of those students. You only have to do 20 to 25 students. So you get your pick on the requirements. The next thing that we recommend or we request is that each teacher leader attend 1 or more days of the summer conference. And we already know that week. So for example, if you do not, and there are, of course, exceptions to every rule. Some people already have their vacations planned. If your vacation is the 12th or the 16th, we're not going to ask you to cancel your vacation. Just let me know. You can send me an email. But we request that you do attend 1 or more days of that summer conference. And the reason why, we're going to be doing amazing things during that summer conference. We will do an actual... This year we got really big things planned where we'll actually go out and do an immersion trip on site in Lexington. And then the final thing that you probably heard lots about is in every one of our KDC grants, we will teach you, we will train you, we will talk about different themes and topics. And then in the summer, we actually go on location. So everything we've talked about historically, we will actually take you to the site and learn more about it. We will immerse you in that atmosphere. So this summer, we're actually taking a group of teachers to Colonial Williamsburg to the Teacher Institute. And so here's what you need to know about those trips. I have been to Colonial Williamsburg. It is amazing. If you go through the actual Teacher Institute, it is like nothing else you will ever experience as a teacher leader. So those trips are highly selective. What we will do is we will look at your attendance, your activity throughout the year, and that's how we do our selection process. But we want everybody to get to go. So just be highly active this year. All right. The next thing, and this is probably the most important thing, and I'm going to drop this into the chat. This is if you have any questions whatsoever about all things Hero, I'm going to refer you to, I'm going to drop this here into the chat. I'm going to refer you to what's called the Hero Hub. And it's called the Hero Hub, and I don't know why I'm still having Google issues. It looks like this. You will see everything from, like, for example, if you want just the Hero directory of all the names, all the participants, if you want to find our Twitter account, our Hero YouTube account, if you want to have a backdrop on your Zoom screen that says Hero, if you want to find our contracts, our W-9s, if you're like, oh, I've lost my teacher pretest, that link. If you want to find your student pretest and survey links, everything you need for Hero is on the Hero Hub. We've made it a nice little one-stop shop for all things Hero, and even the calendar. So for any upcoming dates, if you need to know, hey, when's our next event? When's our next thing? The great thing I will tell you is this is a living, breathing document. So we will always update it as we get new things, as we find new instructional resources. You can always come to this and find all things Hero. So I would go ahead and bookmark this on your calendar. I will send this out in an email as well, so that you have this, but this is all things Hero on the Hero Hub. So if you ever hear me say, I'm putting this on the Hero Hub, you'll know where it's at. It's on the hub. The next thing that I will tell you about is our calendar of events. And I'm going to, same thing, I'll drop this. And does anybody want to guess where the calendar is found? The calendar's found on the Hero Hub. All right, so calendar's on the hub, and the calendar of events, I'll click on that for you just so you can see. The calendar looks like this, and I'll do a screen share, maybe. I don't know why it's being so cantankerous. I apologize. But this is our calendar. And so if you're ever wanting to go ahead and register for a meeting, or you want to say, hey, what's coming on, what's getting ready to happen in Hero. So you will see that right now we're currently having Hero orientation. The next thing that we've got planned or upcoming is Civics for All of Us. And it's about teaching elections with political cartoons from the National Archives. So you can go ahead and click on that. There's the registration link. And we will have, and I will tell you, normally we will have an agenda for everything and the registration link. Those will probably all be updated tomorrow. Apologies. I was telling Gabby, I was kind of in the nth hour trying to get all this uploaded for you today, just so you could see. But there are wonderful, lots of events. Like, for example, next Monday, I will tell you, I'm super excited about this session. If you do not know anything about Tori Murden McClure, she's the president of Spalding University. She's also the first woman who ever rowed successfully across the Atlantic Ocean. She has a book called A Pearl in the Storm. Like, I am so excited to hear her speak. Her story is amazing. She also has done like so many other incredible things. Like, she skied through, her stories, I'm not going to ruin all of it, but you need to be there. You need to join us on Monday. Her story is incredible. And she's going to just talk about chasing after, that tenacity and that grit that we all have as teachers. So super, super exciting. But you can go down through our sessions and see, like, if you want to learn more about Canva for educators, we have Miss Stephanie Howell, who is a fantastic instructional coach. She's going to join us. Maybe you want to get Flip level 1 and level 2 certification. We're going to do that in November. This is one thing that I'm super excited about, and some of our library media specialists might be as well. PBS Learning Media has a KQED certification. Right now, no one in Kentucky is certified with this certification. Guess who is going to get certified? Some of our educators. We're going to have some Hero teachers that will be certified. And there's 8 different modules, and we've got a gentleman named Rick who's going to walk us through that on what that looks like. So you can see our whole calendar. We're going to have the Center for Civic Education join us. Right Question Institute, if you know anything about question formulation technique. Valley Forge Institute's going to join us. And then coming in January, we have incredible programming too. So that calendar will always, you need to always check that because we're always adding new things. All right. So I'm going to stop for just a second and see, does anyone have questions right now? And I know we'll do some questions at the end too, but I know I'm throwing lots of information at you. Is anyone excited?
Well, we should have said this on the front end. Anytime we do a meeting or a cadre like this, it doesn't matter if we have a professional speaker, it doesn't matter from where. Everybody needs to just relax and be comfortable because number one, we're going to have fun. So, and even if we tell everybody that comes on, if you have kids, your pets, or whatever happens in your background, we just kind of roll with it, and that's good. We want to see you. If you have a baby and it jumps in your lap, or a little kid, that's okay. If you're in your classroom and kids pop in, that's all okay. This is a relaxed atmosphere, and there's no pressure, no tension. It's a time for us again to come together as a community around this grant work. So just wanted to let y'all know that. So, we just roll, as Wendy said, we just roll with it when things happen. That's what you got to do. So anyway, sorry.
Absolutely. I 100%, like if Google's sending an error to your slides and you have no idea, you just kind of roll with it. So that's the great thing about it. So at any point, please interrupt. And I will say about our calendar of events, because someone had a really good question earlier that they called me about. This is a pick and choose menu. So I know there are hundreds, you'll see there's lots of different opportunities. This is just our programming from October to December. Do you have to attend everything? No. It's a pick and choose menu, and Gabby will tell you certain things. You may say, I don't want to miss that. Like the Tori Murden McClure, I don't want to miss that. I want to be there live. I want to ask her questions. But what happens if my children have a ball game and I can't be at something? The great thing I love about this grant is we record sessions. So like tonight, if you can't be here with us, we're going to record it. And the way our payment structure works is we want to pay you for your time. We know that learning as an educator, that's, just like in your classroom, it's about the learning that takes place. So if you are with us live in person, or if you're with us live on a Zoom, we pay you $20 an hour because your time is worth money. It's very important to us to pay you. We wish we could pay you more. Just unfortunately, we can't due to our grant funding. But if you go back and let's say that next Monday, you're like, I really wanted to see that session. Wendy made it sound so amazing. So you go back and you watch the recording of that session. You still get paid $10 to watch it and to do a session evaluation. And we'll talk about that in just one moment. So everything you do, you still get, there's still an incentive to do it in this grant, because again, it's about the learning that's going to take place. So, and I'm always a slide ahead of myself. So you'll never miss a session, whether it's virtual live, whether it's recorded, or whether it's in person. So you pick and choose, and that's the way we design this grant. We know I have 2 children. My 2 children are into everything, it seems. So I've got 2 children and I do 3 different grants, as Dr. Evans mentioned. It's really hard to be everywhere at every moment. So we designed it to where you're going to go through in just a second. You can go through the calendar. You can look at that and you can say, I know I want to be at these sessions. Or you can say, you know what? I know I already have a ball game, or I know I already have duty. I'm going to go back and watch those sessions recorded. And I put on this slide, you can see $20 an hour for in-person sessions that are live, where we actually see you and we can talk to you and interact with you. And then anything that you go back and you watch the recording, it's $10 per hour. And we do have a YouTube channel that you can go back. So some people, it's been very funny. Some of my teachers have said, I can't sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning, so I'm watching a Charge YouTube session. And that's okay. If you can't sleep and at 2 o'clock in the morning, you want to watch Charge YouTube, or now you want to watch Hero YouTube, that's fine. So
Wendy, we've got a question from Melinda Caldwell there about spots available for other teachers to join.
We do have, I think, I will say this, Melinda, let me double check. I think I have 2 spots left. So if you know anyone and they want to get, I think we're at 2 spots, and Gabby can probably clarify that and double check, but I think I've got like 2 spots left because we can only take 50 and I think I'm at like 48. So if you know anybody, you might want to send them a message right now and say, this is too good to be true. You might want to jump in and join this grant. And this is what I was telling you before about the power of social media. I would absolutely, I'll send you our website as well. Again, remember, we just got funding on this. So a lot of our stuff is still in progress. We have the most fabulous Miss Jamie Saylor, who helps with all of our website and all of this wonderful, everything that's beautiful and pretty and all of the graphics. Miss Jamie does all of that. She's done our Hero Hub. Everything that you see that is visually appealing, Miss Jamie's probably done it. So I will tell you, visit our website. We want that to be a place, again, kind of like the Hero Hub, where you can go to. If you have any suggestions, we're 100% open to that. If you have Twitter, go ahead and follow our KDC Hero account, our KDC Grants account, and then KDC, our main organization, they have a Twitter account as well. We do have a hashtag contest going on. We will be handing out prizes. We'll mail those to your school or deliver those to your school because we're needing a really good hashtag. Right now we are KDC and we've got History Hero, but if you can come up with a really great hashtag, you can email those to me. We're looking for something for hero, something that has to do with history. And of course, you know, hashtags are kind of short, but if you've got a catchy hashtag, you can go ahead and tweet that out. But if you want to make sure that you get credit for it, because I'm giving out some really cool prizes for our hashtag, winners there. So we're excited about that. And then this is what I'm super excited about. Miss Jamie, who I was telling you about, that is incredible. She has made a hero directory. I'm going to drop that in the chat as well so that you all can see who are all these people that I'm in this grant with. And the thing I love about this directory, and I'll share that with you all so that everyone can see it on the screen. The thing I love about this directory is you can see everybody that is in this grant with us. And if your picture is wrong or your school is wrong or email's wrong, please let me know. Just send me an email real quick. But you can see we've got a lot of history heroes with us. And so this really is helpful when you're like, oh man, Kim had a really great comment in last night's chat. I'm going to send her an email and I'm going to follow up. So this is a great way to start building community. And we will add to this. Eventually we may get it to where I know exactly what Becky's doing at Pineville. I know that Becky's the library media specialist down there, and I'm going to reach out to her and I'm going to see what resources that she has. So we're really building this up. And the great thing I love about these directories is this came from an idea riding on the bus on the way back from Washington, D.C. from one of our teacher leaders. This is not a Wendy King idea. This is not a Jim Evans, Dr. Evans idea or Gabby Flowers idea. This is from one of you. This is a teacher leader idea. And they said, it would be great if I could really see, because in Charge, one of our other grants, we have 120 teachers. It's really hard to get 120 of us all together at the same time. So we love your ideas. Please don't ever feel like, oh, I don't want to send them an idea. My idea might not. We love your ideas. So please at any time, feel free to send us an idea. And you'll see on that back page, here's our grants team. And we love, like I said, we love your all's ideas. So at any time, please feel free to send us your wonderful ideas.
And we've got a question there about 40 hours is the minimum. Is there a maximum amount?
Oh, that's a great question. So in all of our other grants, and Gabby's shaking her head, there is not a maximum amount, but I will tell you, I'm going to put up the invoice for just a second. And these will be on your Hero Hub. So let me put this in the chat. Here's an example of an invoice, and I'm going to put this on the screen. I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you. This is invoice number 1. So in this grant, you'll see on invoice 1, you can make $1,050. So that is the maximum amount of money that you can earn on this first invoice. So we don't care how much you do. In all of my grants, in my other grants, I will tell you, we've got some teachers, Gabby, what's the max? I've got some people that have made, they're up to like 120 professional learning hours. So here's what happens. Now I'm going to give you my advice on what happens. And it's completely up to your district. You all know your districts better than I do. But some of my teachers will max out on this amount for invoice 1. So they'll get to their $1,050 for the first invoice, which means they will attend every session they can. And I'll kind of walk through this with you really quick. And then they'll still want to come to more sessions. They're like, oh man, this looks so great. I still want to come. I'm like, come on, join us. And then they request a professional development, like a PD certificate. We can issue those PD certificates, and then their district will say, yeah, we honor that, or, you know, thanks, that's great. We'll file 13 it. So we still have teachers who still earn more hours. The average amount of professional learning hours per teacher in charge, I think, is like 120 hours. So on average, most of my teachers have about 120 hours this last year. And in Renaissance, they have about 103 hours. So no one stops at 40 hours is what we're finding. And the reason why we're finding that is because the learning is so great that they don't want to just stop at 40 hours. So I hope that's the case for you all too. And here's how your invoice works. Everyone will have a copy of this invoice. And like for tonight, for example, we're only going to meet for about another 10 or 15 minutes. And everyone will get a copy of this. You'll put your name at the top. You'll put your address at the top. Some people do this digitally. You'll just make a copy, and then you will circle, we're meeting virtually. So it's the I is in person, the V is virtually, the R is recorded. And you will see that we're all meeting virtually, and you get paid $40 for being here tonight. It's that simple. And you just keep up with your invoice. And you'll see that that's all you do. You just keep track of your invoice. And at the end of the time, and you'll see down here at the bottom, we do make Summer Institute kind of worth your while. So you see, you get paid $120 a day to come. I will tell you that it stops at $1,050. And of course, this invoice only goes through December right now. We'll add on to the invoice once we get a little closer. And those of you like Mindy, some of you that have been with me on grants in the past, remember we made you wait and you only got paid once a year. The great thing now is we're doing invoices. You'll get paid 3 times, or is it 4 times? 4 times.
Yeah.
So we will turn one invoice in and you'll get paid hopefully before Christmas. So we'll turn this in. Our last session, you can see, is on December 15th. So we will go ahead. Everybody will submit their invoice in after that December 15th session. And then hopefully you'll get your check. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody will get paid before Christmas. So we're making, and then I'll add more dates on, and then we'll come back. Here's the great thing about this. Someone asked in another session, well, after I submit my December 15th invoice, can I go back and if there's any recordings? Yes. So like Christmas break, if you want to go back and watch anything, because I know how busy you all are. Let's say that you go ahead and you submit what you've done up until December 15th, and then Christmas break, you go back and you watch everything that you can over Christmas break. That'll be on the next set of invoices, and you can submit it again. So we want to honor your time. We want to honor your payments. On invoice 2, you will see that you can earn an extra $500. And Dr. Evans and I were talking about, we're getting a new program officer. And he can talk to that while I'm loading this second for you.
So if you total both invoices right now, 1 and 2, you can make $1,550. But what we're getting ready to do, since we are getting a new program officer at U.S. Department of Ed, and we're notified of that last week, we're going to have a meeting with her probably this week. But we're going to move some money around and put more money in stipends for you. So that has to be approved. I can't just do that, even though I've already moved money per category to give you more. I have to put a submittal in, and then we have a meeting, and then have to explain why we want to give you more stipend money. Of course, This is about you earning more, but it all comes back to the premier professional learning that you're getting. We don't want you to see things on the invoice that like, well, I've maxed out already. I'm not going to make you more money, but I really want to attend this. So it's about us finding more ways to pay you more and allow you to attend more, because again, as Wendy says, it's a pick and choose, but we love to have you attend and be with us. So we'll let you know more about that. Again, that's contingent upon her approval, but potentially you could earn maybe an extra $1,000. So we're planning on maybe moving $50,000 or $60,000, which would be $1,000 more per person to you. So we've already maneuvered it per category, already done that, know where we're going to take the money from. We're still going to offer everything that we've said we're going to do in the program, so we can move that money and still provide you all the services, do the immersion trip to Colonial Williamsburg, pay you potentially $25.50, somewhere around in there, and then just make it even better for you all. So I'll hush now, but that's on the works. We'll hopefully have that approved in the next few days. Worst case scenario, she's going to say no, but we've never been told no on that. But again, this is a brand new person we've not worked with before, so fingers crossed, as we say. So
that's the good news, is we're hoping that we can give you more money. So fingers crossed, like Dr. Evans said, our goal is to give you even more than the $1,500 that we're already guaranteeing you. So hopefully if you'll get a big email from you that says great news, we can give you even more. But you'll see here on invoice 2, this is an extra invoice, and you'll see that you get paid $75 just to tweet. So that's why I'm telling you, go ahead, make a Twitter, send out some great tweets. And here's what we want. It's a minimum of 10 tweets throughout the school year. That's not hard. That is not hard to do 10 tweets throughout the school year. I'm not asking you to do 10 tweets a day. I'm not asking you to do 10 tweets a month. 10 tweets from now until May. What you're going to find is that you're going to get really good at telling your story. It's bragging on yourself. I don't need you to brag on KDC. I don't need you to brag on me. I want you to brag on your students, brag on your classroom, brag on, social studies and things that you're learning. If there's a really great cadre session and you think, man, I didn't know that National Archives did all of this, brag on that. This is a chance for you to showcase you, your school, your students. This is good PR, and that's what we want you to do. And you get $75 just for doing that. This is the teacher leadership activities that I was telling you about. I know invariably there's going to be some of you that are early birds, overachievers, and I love you for it. But we will get more training on this on 11/3. So if you want to go ahead, and some of you are like, I don't have any plans this weekend, you can go ahead and start working through these modules, and you'll see there's a price per module to go ahead and do these. I've already clicked on their links are hyperlinked on there. They're an individual price, but then if you complete all of them, it's $200. This is where I was telling you, no one in Kentucky has completed this. Not one single teacher in Kentucky has completed all 8 of these. I really want someone in Kentucky from our grant to complete all 8 of these. So we'll have more training from Rick on November the 3rd about this. And then I will be adding more stuff to this invoice. So hopefully $1,000 more worth of stuff to invoice 1 and invoice 2. So I'm going to stop sharing there. And then I know I have talked and talked and talked. So here's the point where I say, how excited are you? And are you ready to be a hero? And this is where everybody's like, yes, I'm ready. I'm so ready. So if you're ready, and if it sounds like this is too good to be true, I'm so ready to be a KUDC hero teacher leader. All we need from you is for you to sign our contract and a W-9. And this is just basically a contract saying, this is where you send my check to. I know they went over what I need to do, which is maintain 40 hours and, do the pre-test, the post-test for myself and my students. You will email that to Gabby and to myself, and then start planning the sessions that you want to attend. It's that easy. Okay. Then the next thing is, this is the last important piece of the puzzle, is every time that we have a cadre session, we will ask you to complete a session evaluation. This is every one of our sessions. This is for grant reporting. Remember, I told you we try to take all of that grant reporting work off of you, but here's why we do this. A session evaluation is your attendance documentation, but it gives us really important feedback about presenters, about sessions, like what did you like, what didn't you like? Do we need to bring that person back to present for us? And then final, it's a verification for your payment. So like, for example, if Mindy says, Wendy, I was there and I don't have a session evaluation for her, it's a way that I can go back and say, well, if you complete this for me, then I know you were there and it's a proof of your attendance. So for today, every one of you, just like I told you earlier, you get paid to be in this session. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the chat. Perhaps right now. So this is the first session evaluation that you will be completing. And so you'll see what it looks like. It's really simple. It's a simple, easy evaluation to complete. And this is proof of your attendance and it's verification so that we can pay you. Okay. So as you're clicking on that, I'm going to also tell you, this is the last step. If you are at a place where you can turn on your camera, and you all will get used to this really quickly with me. If you're at a place where you can turn on your camera and smile so that we can send out a tweet from our Hero account about this fabulous orientation session. And look at this. This never happens. I'm finishing 7 minutes early. I'm pretty sure that this is like a first time. Like we should probably tweet about that Wendy's finished 7 minutes early.
Hey, Wendy, stop sharing so we can get everybody's screen a picture up there.
All right. So everybody if you're able.
Are you taking the picture?
Yes.
All right.
Maybe. All right. Thank you guys. All right. All right. So you've got your session evaluation. And now the only thing that I have left to tell you is here's your to-do list. Okay. Your to-do list is, I told you that I was going to pay you for 2 hours. So the only thing, and I know most everyone I think has completed your pre-survey and your pre-test. And now that you know where the Hero Hub is, you will see the links for your student pre-survey and your student pre-test. I'm also going to send those out in an email after this is over. I just didn't want to send that prior to our, because sometimes I send out emails and people are like, why is she sending a student test? I don't know what that's for. So now that you know, you only have to test 20 to 25 students. And you get to choose your grade level. So for example, if you are a library media specialist, you may want to tag one of your, if it's 5th grade and you're like, 5th grade's the grade I'm going to do my assessment with. You'll just remember at the end of the year, that's the class you're going to do your post-test with as well. If you're a homeroom teacher, of course, you'll be with your kiddos. But you'll do a pre-test and a post-test at the end of the year. And we try to time it to where it's not at the end of the year, like May when everything is super crazy. So we'll do these post-tests at the end of the year, like in April. So, all right. So now, does anyone have any questions? So this is that time, remember your email where I said, if you've got questions or questions that maybe I didn't answer, feel free to unmute. Feel free to ask me any questions about the grant that maybe you're still a little unsure of. And surely between Gabby and Dr. Evans and myself, we can answer those.
We've got one question from Jennifer about having 16 students in class.
Yes, Jennifer, that is perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Yep, you are good.
And again, y'all don't be bashful about just popping in and unmuting and asking a question. This is always going to be so informal. We had a national presenter on Renaissance last year on the kickoff, and session 2 and Wendy dared me, but said, don't do it. But I actually talked about canned biscuits. So that's how informal these things can be. So seriously, when we tell you we want to have fun, we do really want to have fun. And we know the learning is going to happen. And we're serious about that and want to see evidence of it. But we want you to have fun and enjoy this, and this be a really relaxing community for you to be like this with other, like-minded people like we are. And we're here to support you. I promise you that. We will support you. And I promise you, Wendy will go to bat for you. I will, and Gabby will as well. So, on things that you may need. So, Becky, that's okay. So that's no problem at all.
And I will tell you, I love nothing better than coming into your classroom. I miss being in the classroom. So if you have a really cool project that you're excited about, just send us a message. I know I'm going to Estill County, I think in 2 weeks, because they're doing a really great Kentucky project that they're super proud about. We love that. So now that gives us a chance to get back in the classroom to see kids again. So we love those experiences. So I know some of my Rockcastle folks that are on here, it's a really close drive for me. So
invite us and we will come. So that's what Wendy is saying. If you ask us to come, we will be there to support you. So, and I work in the Lexington office every day, even though I still live in Lee County in Beattyville. But if you need anything from us on that end, please let us know. Gabby's there at the Lexington office, and Wendy is as well most days. So just kind of so you know our locations. But while you're thinking about questions, just a few other things. That we've only got 3 minutes, and we're not going to hold you over. KEDC, we have an Ashland office and a Lexington office, but most of our meetings with this grant work, if it's face-to-face, will be at the Lexington office. Just a heads up. We may use Northeast Christian. We'll of course use Zoom, but the conference center there in the Lexington office, many of you may have already been there. If not, it's easy to find on Winchester Road, so no problem at all. But any questions for any of us?
And if you're looking over the calendar, you will see there's lots of wonderful opportunities that we do have coming up. One thing I'm really excited about is the weekend of December 10th, the 9th and the 10th. Anything that we're asking you to come in person about, if you're new to KDC grants, if you live farther than like an hour and a half from Lexington, and we ask you to come to Lexington to an in-person location, we provide your hotel room. So we will pay for you to come up the night before to a training, stay all night in Lexington the night before. But on the 9th and the 10th, we're actually planning a Frankfort immersion trip. So we'll be providing hotel rooms. We'll go up to Frankfort on the 9th, that Friday night after school. So whenever you have time to go, again, all of our sessions are pick and choose. If you have time and you want to join us, we'll be going that Saturday morning. We'll be going to the Kentucky Historical Society. We'll be doing something called visual thinking strategies. It works in every content area. It's amazing. If you've never done visual thinking strategies, I highly, highly recommend that training. And then we'll be doing a tour of the old Capitol building and some other things in Frankfort. And what we're hoping is that Frankfort's close enough that you can actually replicate this same trip with your students. So we'll be doing that on the 9th and the 10th. Friday night, the 9th, we'll drive up and then we'll provide hotel rooms. And then Saturday morning, we'll get up, we'll go to Kentucky Historical Society, and then we'll do our day trip on the 10th.